Welcome to Top Echelon TV. I'm Mark Demaree.
And I'm Drea Codispoti.
Drea, this week in the Pinnacle newsletter, we're going to release the first quarter stats. So in this episode of Top Echelon TV, let's go ahead and give an overview of those stats, as well as some tips on how to use Top Echelon to its fullest.
That's right. In 2009, we had a lot of decline in a lot of things. So here's some of the major indicators that we saw hit, from the effects in 2009. Number of job orders was down.
Yeah.
Number of candidates were down. Face-to-face interviews, offers accepted, and completed placements were all down in the network.
Yeah, they sure were. And when those are down, of course, it's going to be a tough year. Then all of a sudden, November hits, I'd say mid-November, and we start seeing some of those trends reverse. Not all of them, but we saw, at least they weren't going down. They flatlined a little bit, and then they start going up, and then the first quarter hit.
Right. And along those lines, in the later stages of for fourth quarter, were a lot of activity from people's clients. Yeah. They were having good things to say. They were starting to open up job orders that they might not have opened up earlier in the year. So that started to give us some promise for 2010.
Yeah, a lot of positive conversations. And then first quarter hit, and we start seeing the number of jobs coming into the network increase. Matter of fact, right now we have more jobs in the network than we did last year at this time. And this is the first time that's happened, well, in over a year.
Yeah, 18 months.
The number of offers are up. And I think one of the most positive signs, other than the offers are up, are the number of completed placements in February were up 3.3%, and then in March,
25%.
Yeah, they went up 25%, so that's a great trend to see.
Right.
And of course, the conversations are getting more positive, and the recruiters are seeing more activity from the clients.
Yes, from all the recruiters that I've been speaking to lately, everybody is, some people are actually so busy they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And that's always good.
Now, one of the indicators that we've seen continue to decline, but not as much as in 2009, are the number of candidates in the network, or the number of candidates being submitted to the network. Those are still declining.
Right.
Not as much as 2009,
but just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Right. Now, the top 5 job order disciplines in the network this time are healthcare, engineering, service, information technology, and manufacturing.
Yeah, and the top 5 disciplines as far as placements in the first quarter, the top discipline is manufacturing, information technology, healthcare, engineering, and then sales and marketing rounds out the top 5 disciplines for placements.
That's right, and accounting and finance was right below sales and marketing.
You're right, it sure was. For a complete breakdown of all the stats for the first quarter, make sure you read this week's Pinnacle, because we've laid that all out in that issue.
That's right. Now, here's a little, we always try to give you a little nugget every week, and this week it's basically tips that are going to lead you to splits.
Yeah.
And we're going to go into the golden rules of the network, and the first one, which is always the most important, is always treat top echelon members and top echelon network candidates with respect and professional courtesy. What does this mean? Give them feedback, maintain professionalism, and with every bit of correspondence, whether it's a phone call, a voicemail, or an email.
Yeah, treat them like you'd want to be treated, or like you would treat a client.
That's right.
I'd say the second tip was always include a candidate profile along with your resume when you're sending it to another recruiter. For instance, if you had a job order and I'm sending you a candidate, I'm going to send you the resume along with the RDS, because I want to give you as much information as possible.
That's right. That presentation to me for my job order is very important. I want to know everything I can about that client before I move.
Yeah, and I would say another tip would be to send at least the job order ID, so you know what job order I'm sending these candidates for. It would be even better if I sent a copy of that job order.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, that wraps it up for this week's episode of Top Echelon TV. Make sure you read the Pinnacle newsletter and check back with us next week. I'm Mark Demaree.
And I'm Drea Codispoti.
Have a great week.